Okay, this video is going to be about content, and I want to try and keep it simple so that I don't confuse you or anyone that works with you. Essentially, we are creating new pages, and the forward slash and the name of the URL afterwards is actually the most important part in ranking the page. The content that we write is the second most important part for two reasons. We want it to be about the topic of the page in general. We don't really need to worry about the keywords that are in the article or their density. We need to approach the article more from a quality standpoint and also from an informational standpoint, because we want to add your image to the article. And ultimately, Google will come through and look at that article and determine whether or not it's actually an information-based article or a sales pitch. So we can have a sales pitch of sorts, but we want to make the article mostly about enriching your users. So that being said, let's take a look at your homepage. Now, your homepage actually has some content that I think that we can add your image to. Why use parental controls? It's a perfect title for an article. It doesn't necessarily have to be very long. It might be a good idea to add maybe just a couple more paragraphs in here and then add a line of code, which I will send to you in an email, that will add your image to this on Google. So this page actually we probably don't need to do a lot of work on. Let's go to another page that exists that we're going to add some content to. Now, porn blocking. Now, as I said earlier, we don't want, this is great, but we want to add some content down here that's more informational based that we can add your name to and say, by Russ. So in the terms for the porn blocking page, I would just write a general article about why it's important for porn blocking for families or something like that, and where maybe the industry is going. An information-based article. It does not have to be very long. In fact, it could be 300 words-ish, which is something like this. But then we're going to add your image to it, and in that case, when Google comes along and they look at the page manually, they'll see that there is some worthy content here that's information-based. It's not just a sales pitch, that is worthy of having your picture attached to it, and they won't take it down because we don't want them to do that. We want to keep our links. Now, the creation guideline that I sent over has some suggestions for forward slashes. These forward slashes at the end here are really the most critical piece to ranking. And you'll note that in general they talk about the keyword. It won't mention every single keyword. It's just about the general topic. Porn blocking is great, and because it's relating to so many different words, we can rank it for this. When you write articles for any of these pages, just approach it from an information-based standpoint. How to block Facebook. Now, you might want to make it more like how to block Facebook and why that's important for your business or your family, depending on the pitch that you want to give your users. But don't worry about how many times you're going to add a keyword over here. Certainly a good idea to look at the keyword and maybe add one of the keywords once, but as long as you're talking about the given subject, you're going to be fine. Keyword density really no longer matters in the internet marketing world, and I would say as long as you follow those guidelines, you're going to be fine. A general article, mostly for information, that's about the group of keywords. So you're going to write an article that's about parental control. You're going to write an article that's about safe search filtering for kids. You're going to write an article about website blocking and web content filtering. Now, some of these overlap each other a little bit, so the challenge for you is going to make each page feel like a worthy, unique article, because you're a powerful enough site that Google's going to come along and they are going to do a manual review. But a combination of the forward slash URL, some worthy content, and a Google Rich Snippets edition to put your image on there is going to be enough to get each one of these pages to raise up, and then I will push it over the edge.